Are we saved by faith alone? The short answer is yes and no. A totally useless answer. So that's why this video became quite lengthy, to explain this simple concept with quite a few verses. For you are saved by grace, through faith, and it's not from yourself, it's a gift from God, not from works, so that no one can boast. So this sounds very straightforward, very simple. It's a gift, it comes from God, it's not from yourself, and it's not from works. How much clearer can it be? Are we saved by faith alone? These verses say yes. But no, it's not that simple, because we have to consider other verses too. In Hebrew, a verb most often has both a mental and physical action attached to it. The word hear isn't only about perceiving a command, but also understanding and believe that command, but above all acting according to those words. Just like a mother asks her child, "Did you hear me when I said clean your room?" She isn't inquiring about the sound of her voice, but referring to a commandment to clean that room. For more on this physical and mental part of a verb, please refer to video 8. But will you know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Verse 20 is very straightforward. You must have works. If you do not have works, your faith is dead. And that faith, that can never be a good thing. Verse 26. The body without the spirit is dead. So when you don't have a spirit, you are dead. And that's negative. That's bad. And then the verse continues. If you do not have works combined with your faith, then it's bad also. Then you have dead faith, and that's just bad faith. It's simple as that. One thing to notice is that those verses are not saying that you do not need faith. It says that you must have faith and works, not only works and not only faith. So let's continue figuring out how that aligns with the verse we started with, that said that you are saved by faith alone. How can we harmonize scripture? Verse 16. And one of you say to them, Depart in peace, be warmed and filled. Notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body. What does it profit? Verse 17. Even so, faith, if it has no works, is dead, being alone. Verse 16 is a lengthy example of what verse 17 means. I color-coded the parts of the verse so we can compare easily. In verse 16 we read, And one of you say to them, Depart in peace, be you warmed and filled. That is the faith we have expressed in verse 17. Then back to verse 16. Notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body. That compares to verse 17, if it has not works. Then back to verse 16, what does it profit? And that parallels verse 17, the red part, is that being alone. We started out with a very simple and straightforward verse. By faith alone you are saved. After that, I showed you equally inspired verses that seem to say the opposite. You must have works. You must have works. Otherwise, you have dead faith, and dead faith equals no faith, and it will do you no good. So, how can we clear up this contradiction? What do all those verses combined teach us? The answer is not that hard, and I would kindly advise you, if you haven't done already, watch video number 6. That video is about the two types of law that in the Bible. And simplified, I can say there's God's law and man's law. And that's also exactly the case with the two types of works we are speaking here about. We got works of mankind and we got works of God. Now imagine that you walk on the street on a cold winter day and you see a cold and hungry homeless man sitting on the sidewalk. You think, I am going to please God and I'm going to try to buy myself a spot in heaven. I give that man $20 and that will please God and I will benefit from it. Well, then giving that $20 is that works because you are just bribing God. Nothing more, nothing less. It does not work. But if you are a faith-filled Christian, you have the mind of Christ, the compassion of Christ. So you are not thinking, I'm going to give that man some money so that I will benefit from it because God will like me. No, you will feel sad when you see that man. You will feel compassion and you will give that man $20 as an act of compassion because you feel so bad for that man. So you give that $20 for that man to benefit from. And you are not thinking, oh, God will be so pleased about me giving. No. You give for the benefit of that man. So, as a summary, it simply means if you give for the benefit of yourself, does not work. If you give out of compassion for the benefit of somebody else, then it works. Because the first one is that works and the other one is living works, also called the fruit of the Spirit. When you are indwelt with the Spirit, you start acting like Christ, but then your works does not come from a law or from a regulation or from what your pastor commanded or that you just want to show off in the public or something like that. No, it comes from your heart, it comes from your being more and more and more and more Christ-like. And that is the living faith. That are the living works. So, we started this video and it says not by works, those works were the dead works. the works that are designed, so to speak, to benefit yourself, and God will not fall for that. And all those other verses who said you must have works, other verses that are about the works of on the on to benefit other people, not you. That's the difference. Difference once again, that is to benefit from yourself. Living and saving is for the benefit of others.